Well, welcome everyone to our latest Insight interview for Site Leaders Connect. I want to welcome Michael Jaber here. Michael, could you please introduce yourself and tell us why you chose to become an educational leader?
Yeah, absolutely. And just thanks for the opportunity. My name is Mike Jaber, and I am the coordinator of instructional technology for the Sheboygan Area School District in Wisconsin. And everyone just likes to say Sheboygan, so go ahead and get it out of your system.
Sheboygan.
Yeah, there you go.
Did I say it correctly?
Sheboygan, you got it. You got it. I started my career in education as a middle/high school social studies teacher, and I did that for 16 years. And then the district that I was at the time decided that they wanted to pursue a one-to-one initiative. And so they wanted to take 4 teachers out of the classroom that, tried to integrate technology into their lessons. And I was one of the 4 that they picked. And so I went into this instructional coaching role because we had to basically get our staff on board with this whole switch now that students were going to have a device. And I did this role for 2 years. And the cool thing about it was we were one of the first 4 schools in the nation to adopt Chromebooks. And so we were able to go to Mountain View with our team and meet with Rajan Sheth, who is the father of the Chromebook, and just give them feedback. And Council Bluffs and Leiden out of Illinois and Richland 2 out of South Carolina were the other schools that were the early adopters. And that's where this whole technology integration really piqued my interest, because I was able to help other educators in our own district just try to get on board and help them integrate technology. And then I came over to Sheboygan to do actually a training for their staff. And after a day after the training, I was contacted and asked if I would be, consider leaving and coming to Sheboygan, because they wanted to go to a one-to-one environment and bring in Google. I'm a big Google person. And
yes,
so,
I see the Chrome logos all over your office.
Oh yeah,
I love
it's Chrome-tastic in here. So I listened to what they had to say, and I believed in, what their vision was. And so I joined the Sheboygan Area School District as their coordinator of instructional technology. And this is my 6th year doing that. So kind of a little bit of background with me and why I decided basically to become an educational leader is I want to give back. I've learned so much from other people, and I just want to share the knowledge that I have, learn from others and pass it on to other people who might be in, going down the same path as I did and save them time or save them headaches. So I love to network. So that was one of the main reasons I wanted to join this and be a part of this.
Well, thank you. I love that. And with your experience with rolling out one-to-one and things like that, I think that definitely those leaders that are out there that are looking forward to doing that, certainly be great for them to reach out to you. I know you're part of our Site Leaders Connect network. And so definitely I encourage all of you to certainly follow Mike on Twitter, connect with him. We're all learners, and if we can give back, that's awesome. So thank you for sharing that, and thank you for being willing and excited about sharing with all of us and with our community. So I know that computer science has been a really big push in at a national level, has been here in California as well recently. And can you tell us some insight that you've gained regarding the actual implementation of some computer science that's been going on in your district, in your experience?
Yeah, so in our district, we pretty much have some things in place at the upper levels. There's some computer science pathways that kids can follow, but we really didn't have anything at the lower levels at all. So we took a really good look at that, and Wisconsin came out with computer science standards and things like that. So there's a big push from the state, and we felt that we needed to get on board. And so myself and our ACP coordinator, we got together and started talking about this because, and this goes back a couple years, when my son was in 2nd grade, he had a teacher in his district that started this coding club for 2nd graders. And 3rd grade, 4th grade, all the elementary kids could sign up for this. And, he said, can I, sign up for this coding club? And I was like, sure, what's it all about? Because they really didn't exist around my area. And he said, it's just, you can go in and they have a bunch of different technological tools that you can interact with and things like that. And so I was really curious, and I knew the teacher, and I said, do you mind if I come in and just take a look at, what's going on? And she's like, no, absolutely. And I'm a gadget person. So I would bring all my gadgets as well and just kind of interact with the kids. But what I saw was something similar to what you have done here with this organically built platform. She built it from ground up, and she had like 20 kids that would come in the mornings on a Friday, and they would spend an hour before school just interacting and coding, and not only on websites, but with Spheros and, Ozobots and things like that. And I just watched these kids, be so engaged and just, so inquisitive, and they were so excited about it. And my son was excited about it as well. And I'm like, it takes a lot for him to get excited about something. So this was amazing. And so after seeing this and after talking to the teacher, I said, I need to bring this idea back to Sheboygan, because we need to have something like this for our kids too. And so that's when I met with our ACP coordinator, and I said, hey, you're doing all these pathways and, career opportunities. I said, we have to start young, and let's try to hook these kids early. I said, what can we do to get this going? And so we started a pilot last year at one of our elementary schools. And what we did is we put together a kit, and it's just a giant plastic tote with wheels. And we dumped in a bunch of different technological tools and things that we felt that the kids could really, grab onto and have fun with. And, obviously we had to do the parent permission forms and things like that. And we started it from scratch. We didn't know what type of response we'd get. And it started out where we had, probably 30 kids that showed up, and then it spread like wildfire, and it was crazy. And so we had towards the end we held it on Friday mornings, and we had probably, I would say, 80 to sometimes 85, 90 kids coming there in the mornings before school and participating in this. And so we knew that the pilot was going to be a success, but then how are we going to take it, a step further? Now we have one school doing it. How are we going to get it to all the schools? So we met with the assistant superintendent and our assessment coordinator at the time and said, hey, we understand that you want before and after school programs going into next year. And, are there any funds for this? Because we would like to just take this and run with it. And so we were allocated some monies to actually explore this. And so this year we are rolling out, we have 4 kits that will travel around our elementary schools, and each elementary school will have it for a 6-week period of time, first semester, and then 6 weeks second semester. So we will get kids introduced to this, and the teachers will do different things with them. We have something that we call a technology club captain, who is in charge of just making sure that the stuff is charged and everything's put back, and everything's working and set up. And so we wanted to give that person a stipend as well, just for taking on that responsibility. But we are really excited to, and I just delivered them last week to the schools. So they will have the opportunity to have 6 weeks of computer science, coding, just interaction, first semester and 6 weeks second semester. And the 4 kits will rotate with 3 schools. And so it'll go 6 weeks, and they'll go to another school for 6 weeks. And so every elementary school will have the opportunity to expose their kids to this. And we're really, really excited about it.
That's awesome. I love that. I think that speaks a lot to equity, that you have these mobile kits that are going to every single rotating basis. And so I think that's a great way to still have it be a pilot, where there's those that are excited about it and not maybe as, those go-getters that are already, they love gadgets, they love computer science, they're willing to try it, but still have that equity where each school is represented. That's great. What have you done as far as professional learning opportunities, training? How do you get those that are going to be tasked to bring these experiences to the students? How do you build their capacity to deliver instruction in this way?
Yep, that's a great question. So over the summer, we offered, actually at the beginning of August, we offered for the technology captains that were selected for each building. We brought them in and we set up all the stations of all the equipment that was in the kits. And we went through and explained to them just what they were, what they can do with them, and had them play with the stuff. So they interacted just like if they were a student. And what we found is it was really powerful because, instead of just sit and get professional development, they were actually hands-on and actually asking questions that students would ask as well. We've also put together a binder that goes with each kit that has, step-by-step instructions of different activities that you could do with each one of the objects that are in the kit. And I don't know if you want to know what's in the kit, but I have that right here. So we have Little Bits coding kits. We've got Cubelets, which are robotic blocks.
Oh, I just played with those last week. Those are awesome. I love
those.
They're
amazing. They are amazing. We've got a Cosmo Robot that's in there, which is the robot that uses artificial intelligence to learn, and kids absolutely love it.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
We have Meeper bots, which are little, they're little like vehicles that have a Lego platform that you can code and you can build Legos off of, and they're made right here in Wisconsin, which is kind of fun.
Oh, so that's exciting.
Yeah, they're called Meeper bots. We have Bloxels sets that are in the kits. The kids absolutely love Bloxels, creating their own video games. We have Ozobots. We have 12 Ozobots in there. We have Mini Spheros. We have the Osmo kits, the coding Obby. We have the Genius kit in there, the Creative kit. We have Strawbees. I don't know if you've ever heard of Strawbees.
I haven't.
It used to be a company called Quirkbot, but they changed to Strawbees. And what it is they're straws that you can configure and attach them to these little motors that you can code and make these things just do crazy things just with something so inexpensive as a straw. So,
oh, wow.
Yeah, it was really creative, and kids who are really creative love playing with those. And then we have something called Bitsbox, which is a platform that you can go on your computer and kids can, write code and actually kind of create an app or whatever through the Bitsbox. And it's awesome. So those are some of the things, and we just keep adding to it. I can see it, and it's not all stuff that you have to code with, but sure. It's getting their, piquing their interest and letting them know that technology is their friend. It's fun, and it's a pathway to an amazing future.
Absolutely. And I love that you are focusing on those younger students because as you had mentioned, what we see a lot of times is there are some options, typically not requirements, but options for high school students, maybe middle school, to participate in computer science, but we often forget the elementary level. And so I love that you are focusing on that because I think that's key. I was speaking with a computer science professor from Fresno State University here in our area, and he said that kids are coming in freshman year without the skills because they haven't started young. And so I know that's certainly a need. And so I commend you for taking that step and doing that for students. What have you talked a lot about students being engaged, getting aware of what computer science is through these different activities. And your son, you said, of course, has been excited about this as well. So besides engagement, what other skills have you seen that these types of learning environments and this type of computer science instruction has done for them? What are some other skills that they've developed in addition to just being engaged?
Well, I think one of the big things is collaboration, because a lot of these kids are together, and it's basically the 4 C's. And that's something that we're pushing in our district is the big 4C push. And so, the communication, you've got the collaboration, you've got creativity, you got critical thinking, the looks on their faces when they're trying to solve these things, and they start to speak the language too. And I think that's really important, because we're building that foundation. Like you said, you've got some kids going to higher ed that don't speak the language. They've never been exposed to that. So we're building that foundation. So as they get up to the middle school level, it comes much easier for them, and they're ready for, new tasks. And then when they get to the high school, and I will tell you, if you can program or you can write code, you're going to be able to write your own ticket to whatever job you want. And just getting kids to see that, and video games are so big for kids, and if you can put it into a context where, hey, you could create video games. If you learn to write code, you could make some really cool things. Then they start to associate that with something they enjoy. And I think, but the 4 C's, I think, is something that we really try to hit on, and we see it. I see it with kids working together and having to communicate, because you really can't operate in a silo when you're trying to, complete a task. And it's really refreshing to see.
Absolutely. I love that. It definitely, for the 4 C's is a huge emphasis all over. And so I think that's definitely, I've seen that as well, that the 4 C's are all over computer science for sure. So I was also curious as to, do you have your technology leaders that are going out, or I think you called them tech captains, or
Yep.
Okay, so do they have a computer science background, or are they able to do this without that? Because I know that there may be leaders out there that are saying, oh goodness, can I roll this out to elementary students if I don't have a teacher that has a computer science degree, or that has a computer science supplement to the credential, doesn't have that real world experience? So how is that working in your district?
For our lower levels, for this, that we are rolling out, they have no background in computer science. They are interested. They are very kid-centered, and they want student-centered. They want to be there for the kids, and they will learn whatever to provide that opportunity. And when we brought them in, they came in and they were a little bit, I guess, overwhelmed, you'd want to say, right when they first came in, seeing all this stuff around the room. But once they started to interact with it, and the materials that we supplied them with, and we explained to them, you don't have to be the expert.
Right.
This is something where you need to learn to let go and let those kids explore, because I don't want this to be so structured that it's like some of the classes that they're in. I don't want it to be that way. I want the kids to have fun and be able to make mistakes and things like that. And so, no, you do not have to be an expert in the field to be a captain or to run one of these clubs. As you get to the high school, I think you focus a little bit more, because obviously it's more higher level, and you want to have someone with that background that talks that language. But to start out, any teacher that's just interested in giving kids opportunities, please step up to the plate and find out. And if you want any information, I will give you that information. You can contact me. I will give you all the stuff that you need. I'll share a folder with you with just tons of things. So yeah, absolutely. If don't be intimidated at all.
I love that. Thank you. That actually leads to our next question, which is, where can people that are interested in rolling something like this out, trying it in their district, in their schools, where would you recommend that they go to learn more?
For myself, I would go to my network, my PLN. I would reach out to people who have done this. That's where I learned a lot of the things that I have done in our district. Those are my go-tos. But, Google has a platform, a computer science platform that's free that you can use. There are so many things that are out there. Code.org is amazing, a wealth of resources. There's an online game called Code Combat that our kids use. There's so many pockets of different resources out there. And so I would suggest, if you want to know more about this, contact me and I will introduce you to people, or I will share what I have with you. And I'm a Twitter person, and I share only educational things. I don't let you know when I'm going to the grocery store, because that doesn't matter. So, feel free to follow me with Twitter. I do have a website as well that you can go to, and then email me if you want. So,
excellent. Thank you. And what's your website address?
Yep. So I'm going to give you.
There we go.
Right in. So this is my Twitter. There is my website address,
And maybe move it back just a bit so we can see. There we go.
Get it in. There you got it.
Perfect.
So you got a snapshot of that. And feel free to reach out, because I would love to help out however I can. I wish we could put these in every elementary school, because I really have seen the value, and kids keep asking about it. So kids were asking, are we going to do that again this year? Because they remember that. And so we're excited that we can bring it, like you said, the equity piece. We can bring it to all the schools. And the thing is it doesn't have to be just before or after school. We're going to allow teachers to check it out during the day. So those students that can't get there before school or stay after school, they still get the experience during the day. And so we're going to see that a lot as well this year.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much for sharing and for offering to support those that are new on the journey and wanting to do something similar at their school site. I've really enjoyed speaking with you. I've learned a couple of new coding platforms that I'm going to certainly look into and try. Awesome. And
awesome.
I want to thank you for being with us and for sharing with us, but also for what you're doing for those students. And hopefully by sharing here on this platform, we can build this other places as well and inspire others to do similar work. So any concluding thoughts to inspire others to move forward with something like this before we close out?
Oh, we're good.
All right, perfect. Well, thanks again, Mike. I do encourage everyone to certainly follow Mike on Twitter, check out his website. I know I will be doing that. Certainly for other Insight interviews, check out siteleadersconnect.org and go to the EduLeader database and certainly follow people that have certain expertise in what you're looking for. Thanks again, everyone, for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you next time. Thanks so much, Mike.
Thanks, Catherine. Have a great day.